Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Strike Zone with St. Paul Saints Manager George Tsamis. Strike Zone is a weekly program that gives you, the fans, the opportunity to ask the St. Paul manager questions about the Saints, baseball or sports in general, or just seek George's wisdom about life events that are going on out there. In this week's episode, George talks to us about the big 15-inning victory to open up their road trip. He discusses with us one of his favorite memories since he's been the manager of the Saints, and George tells us if he's had some good insults for umpires over the years. Let's get right to Strike Zone. So let's welcome back Manager George Tsamis. George, let's first of all begin with team updates you have for us.
Yeah, the first one since we last spoke, Kramer Sneed, he's not with us anymore, and he kind of got just bumped up by the classification situation, the higher classification. But with Eric Voegelin deciding he didn't want to play anymore, put us in a really tough spot, and we lost Voegelin as a rookie. It put us in a really tough spot and put us down to 9 pitchers because Kramer Sneed was away at a wedding, and it kind of just rushed the whole process of signing Caleb Thielbar back because again, we were shorthanded after the injuries, and so Kramer, he kind of got bumped out. It really wasn't fair, but the higher classification, sometimes it happens in the league, and that's exactly what happened. Caleb Thielbar's been back. He's pitched a couple of times, and he's looked very well. I mean, he's thrown the ball very well, so it's good to have him back.
Yeah, the very first outing, he had like 2 shutout innings for you. I thought his fastball, his stuff was looking really good.
Yeah, it was, and then last night it was good too. He came in and gave us a couple of scoreless last night, and so it is good. And obviously, he's another veteran, so we have 5 veterans, and they're all producing too. They're all doing a good job. So again, sometimes in this league, people don't understand it. Well, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? But the higher classification limit, again, it kind of bumps guys out, and it's a tough spot sometimes.
I would think too, with Voegelin going, it's kind of leaving you scrambling for your starting rotation right now.
Yeah, pretty much. That's very accurate, and again, you can't just snap your fingers and get another guy, and in that case, it has to be a rookie, because if you carry 23 guys, you have to have 5 rookies. If you carry 22, you only have to have 4. So that was a big blow, and it really put us in a tough spot. And so if you're not going to sign another rookie pitcher right away to bring in another guy in, you got to put a guy in the DL, even though they're not hurt. So that's a tougher spot than it's just a really, really bad spot.
Well, before heading into fan questions this week, I want to discuss with you a little bit about your opening game of the road trip here. You start out with a 15-inning victory last night in Cleburne. I know you're happy about the win, but that has to be a tough start considering you have a 13 games in 2 weeks and your pitching staff already in kind of a little bit of a downside here.
Yeah, you said it. When you're shorthanded pitching and then it goes 15 innings, the only thing worse was losing the game. So it was nice we were able to pull it out, and but we're definitely in a hole. We're gonna have John Straka pitch on 3 days rest today, and which it's not a big deal, and anybody can do it, and as long as you don't do it every time, but he'll pitch on 3 days rest, and hopefully can give us a good outing. But we're definitely light. We're light pitchers right now, and here's the thing too, and it's the starting pitchers need to go deeper into games. We just can't have the starters, not getting through the 5th inning. It's killing the bullpen, and we're early in the season, and so starters, they need to pitch deeper into games. Honestly, this is the truth. We need to play better. We need to play better. We need to pitch better. We need to throw more strikes. So, we're off to a 7-4 start, but things need to be better.
Well, heading into our fan questions this week, we first of all begin with Beverly from St. Paul. She asks, with Winnipeg and Fargo off to such a fast start, are you seeing a need to win 10 or 11 of these games on the road trip?
I don't think you put a number on it, but we just need to play better. It's a long season, obviously, and they're off to good starts. They're good, just like we thought they would be, and but you just got to go out there and take it, game by game. And again, it was nice to get that first one.
Before moving on, you're talking about guys playing better. One guy I really have to say something about, because I've just been incredibly impressed, is John Christopherson. You kept him. I think some people were even kind of skeptical of that, and he's really proving you were right.
Well, I wouldn't even. It's not that I was right. It's a pleasant surprise, and he's done a good job. And here's the thing too. Obviously going into camp, we weren't sure who our starting shortstop was going to be, and we had Tony Thomas and Tanner Vavra, and there was a chance going in on paper that one of them would have been the shortstop, but as it went on, both are very good players, but both they're probably not true shortstops, and this is how this game works, and this is how it works in this league. Christopherson got a chance. We put him in, I think it was the second last exhibition game. We just put him in the second half of the game, and he got a big hit. And then in the ninth inning, off one of Fargo's relievers throwing 95, he hit that big double to win the game, and you're happy for him. So you give him a chance the next day. He keeps producing, and this is a kid that here's an opportunity. You do well, you stay. You don't, you don't. And he took advantage of it, and he hasn't stopped since. And he's played a really solid shortstop and strong arm and makes the plays. And I think he has, I think now he has 2 errors, but both of those errors were questionable. They were tough plays, and he's made some beautiful plays in the field. He made a beautiful one last night, and saved the game too, by the way, with a diving play. We had the infield in. So in the bottom of the whatever inning it was, 10th, 12th, who knows? There were so many of them. But he's done a really, really nice job.
Jack from Burnsville would like to know, he says, how frustrating is it for you as a manager when it looks like your roster is all set and you look like you're going to have a serious strength, and then you suffer injuries and that strength becomes a liability?
Yeah, I always say it. It's because you look good on paper, that doesn't mean anything. And again, the injuries, hey, that's part of it, and it's my job to replace them. But that's part of it, and it's unlucky. But you know what? Fargo lost their best player 2 days before the season started, and they're off to a good start. So they're finding a way to get it done. And you know what? Other guys need to step up and get the job done.
Carl from New Prague would like to know if you think the team is producing at the plate in the way that you envisioned.
No, they're not. And we have a few guys that are swinging it well. Christopherson's one of them, doing a good job, and Nate Hansen, I think, is done very well, and Brady Shoemaker, and Danny O too. He's got some big hits, and even his outs are hard hits, and but as you saw the other night, and even last night, last night we left 18 guys on base, and the last game at home, which was very disappointing in front of the big crowd, we left all those guys on base, had a million chances, and so no, we are not hitting the ball the way we should, and it does need to get better, and it needs to get a little more exciting out there. It's just weird how the game works. Because Saturday night we played probably our best game of the year. Big hits, great pitching, great defense, exciting baseball. And then Sunday it wasn't so exciting, and tough loss. And then last night for 14 innings it wasn't so exciting. We left way too many guys on base. But then the 15th inning at midnight, that was exciting.
As long as it happens at the right time, I guess.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'd rather have it happen earlier and not at midnight. I'd rather have it happen at 7:05.
Especially considering you started like 4:30 in the morning at the ballpark or something. Wasn't it?
Yes. And we got back to the hotel last night around 1 a.m., so it was a 21-hour day. And but whatever, it's better when you win. And but when you lose those games, then I probably wouldn't even want to talk to you today.
Noah from Martin Hills would like to know, with the way that Seth Rosen has pitched so well for you early on, are you concerned that he might be swooped up by an affiliate club? He says he doesn't understand why someone wouldn't try to add him to their AA or AAA team. Yeah,
you know what? Maybe he just needs to prove that he's healthy, which he is, and he's throwing well, and his fastball is in the low to mid-90s, and he just keeps throwing well. But I wouldn't call it concern. That's why they're playing. If they're playing to get to the big leagues, and if it happens, it's great for him. That's why he's playing. That's what he's shooting for, and if that happens, then it's my job to replace him.
Sean from South St. Paul asks, with it being the 25th anniversary of the Saints, I know a lot of people will be reflecting on the big moments in the team's histories. What are some of yours?
Obviously there's some exciting moments over the years, and I mean, winning the championship was a great one. A lot of exciting playoff wins, some big playoff, some big playoff wins, and again, I've been there for 15 years, and get a lot of exciting moments. There's one thing that a game was a couple of years ago, and this just stands out for me. This game, it was a game we were in Fargo, and Vinny DeFazio had to go to his sister's wedding, so it left us with one catcher, and Joey Pashork was playing left field the night before, and there was a ball hit deep, and he crashed into the fence and hurt his thumb, but you figure that's okay, he'll catch tomorrow and we'll be good. Well, we got to the park that morning, we had a day game, and Joey Pashork could not catch, so we had no catchers, and it was just we didn't know what we were going to do. We actually were going to have Robert Coe catch the game because he caught in college. That's how crazy it was when you have no catchers. And then we were going to have Robert Coe catch. Mike Kwasnicka came in my office, and he caught years before. He said, "Hey, I'll catch today." He didn't mind, and what a cannon, by the way, too, because they tried to run on him, and he gunned two guys out, and so it was great that he caught and did a good job. But Steve Nicorak, he got hit in the face with a pitch, and obviously had to come out of the game, and lost most of his season, and so we had no position players on the bench, so we had to actually put Robert Coe in at third base, and he was there, bases loaded for them, and in a tie game in the bottom of the sixth, and a ground ball to him, he fielded it, stumbled to the ground, and tagged third, and got out of it. And then he came up in the top of the seventh and got a big hit to put us in the lead, and we eventually won that game. So that is one game that was one of my favorite wins in all my years of doing this. Because you don't know who's going to catch. A pitcher played third, and a pitcher got a hit to give us the lead to win the game.
I know Robert always loved the fact that he had the highest batting average on the team that season.
Yeah, he did, and he makes sure everybody knows that.
Next up, Chris from Plymouth asks you. He says, "Boy, Kinsler is really lighting up the AL and saves this season. It made me wonder if there are other former Saints in the majors that you know of."
Yeah, Kinsler's done a really good job, and he hadn't blown a save until the other day, and it's too bad because he was one strike away, from getting out of it. But it looked like every pitch was 95, 96 with that Greg Maddux movement, and he's done a great job, and I'm very happy for him. And as of right now, I know a couple guys are in AAA, and a couple guys have bounced back and forth, like Tanner Shepard, but Kinsler's the only one right now, and I hope he continues to throw the ball well.
We have a few Major League Baseball questions for you. First is Ethan from Minneapolis. He says, "George, I listen to all my buddies spout off about how the Twins are going to collapse any day now. Tell my friends how stupid they are."
Well, I wouldn't say anybody's stupid, but that division, it's anybody's division. You know what? And I guess now the Twins are struggling a little bit the last couple of games, and but that division is anybody's division. It's one day the Twins look great, and one day, maybe somebody else looks a little better. But you just got to keep it going, and getting a timely hitting, getting good pitching, and Twins have a shot, and you just never know in this game. It's again, especially in that division, and in the last few years, teams that end up in the World Series, you didn't expect to be in there.
Ben, the Houston native, asks, he says, "As a huge Astros fan, it seems like they are finally a team that could be around as a real World Series threat for years to come."
You know what? They look pretty good. I mean, I obviously haven't seen many games, but they look pretty good, and they have those young guys in that lineup and good starting pitchers, and so they can get it done. I wouldn't be surprised.
Mario from St. Paul would like to know if you think the NFL teams are blackballing Kaepernick because of his national anthem stance.
I really haven't followed it, so I'm really not sure. I guess he doesn't have a job, but who knows? Who knows the reason? It's tough to find good quarterbacks in the NFL, but again, I really haven't followed that situation closely enough to see who needs a quarterback, who doesn't. I know the Patriots don't need a quarterback. I know that.
The Packers either, the last I knew. So.
Yeah, they don't either.
Our last question of this week comes from a person identifying himself as retired ump. He says, George, a few years ago, I was umpiring a game when a fan yelled, "Hey, Blue, I thought only horses sleep standing up." What is the best insult you ever threw at an umpire?
You know what? I don't even like to do that anymore. It's years and years ago. I've tried to calm down over the years, and you know what's the point at times? I don't know. Best insult? I don't know. You just hope they do a good job, and you know they care about their job, and you know, respectful to the players, respectful to us, and we'll try to be respectful to them. And but I don't know, the arguing thing and getting thrown out of games to fire up the team thing. I don't believe in that, and so let's hope it stays that way.
Well, thanks.
Sorry, it's not the answer that you wanted, but that's the way I feel about it.
Well, it's the more mellow George Tsamis out here. So.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess it's. Oh, the first few years I was like, that was a little too much, but now let's just let the players go get the job done, and it's my job just to, you know, push the right buttons and not get thrown out of games.
That sounds like great advice. Well, thanks for joining us this week, George.
Okay, thank you so much, okay?
We want to thank Manager George Tsamis for joining us on Strike Zone this week. If you have your own questions you'd like to ask the St. Paul Saints skipper, please send them to us at askgeorge@minorleaguesportsreport.com. That's askgeorge@minorleaguesportsreport.com. Please have your questions to us by Saturday evening so we can give George a little time to review them before we record the show. I'm Rob Pannier, the managing editor of the Minor League Sports Report. We'll see you next time on Strike Zone.